Welcome back to Hardball. If it's true that money is power, both the Republican and Democratic presidential candidates have nothing to worry about. Most are millionaires, or at least one has a net worth in the hundreds of millions. Here's how some of the candidates' net worth breaks down. And these numbers are inexact. They're based on official reports, which are wide-ranging in what they might mean. On the Republican side, it's estimated that Rudy Giuliani's worth between, I love this, imagine filling out a tax form that says, I made between 20 and 70 million last year, I'm not sure where. John McCain, 25 to 38, and that's pretty good for a guy who's always been in public life. And Mitt Romney, estimated to be worth between 190 and 250, he's the big guy. On the Democratic side, Hillary Clinton's estimated to be worth between 10 and 50. And Barack Obama between 1 and 2, and John Edwards between 22 and 60. There's a wide range. Big bucks for all. But what does it mean? Let's hear from our hardballers, Michelle Bernard with the Independent Women's Forum. Is that a conservative or a liberal group?
It's right of center, free market group.
Oh, I like the way you say that. And Michael Powell is a Democratic strategist. Michael Powell, why do you have to have at least a couple million in anti-money to get in this game? You know, they're not spending their own money in these campaigns, are they?
No, Chris, I just think that I don't know what you do about all the money in politics unless you...
No, these are money to get to be candidates, not spending money, having it.
Well, I don't think there's anything wrong with being credentialed as a successful person, as somebody who's gone out through their hard work and initiative and made money.
What did John McCain do to make all this money?
Well, he married well.
He married his wife.
I'm knocking him, but it isn't. Since when is wealth a sign of having worked hard? A lot of cases it's inherited or married or whatever.
Well, most of them that are running.
Great.
Most of them
have modest, I shouldn't say, they're very well off. They're not rich.
Right.
But there's some people who are really rich here. Do you think Romney being really rich helps him with the public, the regular people, or not?
If he can convince the quote-unquote regular people that he's one of the regular people, I don't think the money really makes a difference. You know, it allows people to get into the race, but the bottom line is people are going to vote for who they like. Okay.
Who's the last self-made zillionaire to be president? We don't elect self-made people. We've had the Rockefellers, we've had almost one, we've had the Roosevelts, who won certainly. We've had old Mother Kennedy. But when is the last time we elected some guy who went out there and made his bucks himself and made a lot of money? It seems like we've never done it. I can't think of a single self-made rich guy who's been elected president. I'm not sure America, and you think this country would like people who made their own money.
Well, I think the last one that did probably was President Reagan, but he's not in the category.
He's not. This kind of 200 million stuff.
No.
So what's your bottom line? You say, why don't we have brilliant college professors running, brilliant novelists running? Why doesn't David McCullough show up on one of these lists, or Michael Beschloss, or the president of a big university, Judy Rodin used to be head of Penn, Amy Gutmann? Why don't we have Ruth Simmons? Why don't we have some major academic leader or major figure in whatever? Or business? Why didn't Lee Iacocca run?
It's just not the money. Well, what I was going to say is it's not just the money, it's the ego that it takes to think that you have the ability to be president of the United States. So it's not just the money. And Iacocca, he's got, he's got.
He's a great example.
Yeah, you don't just get it from the money. It's just something that's innate. There are people who get up one day and say, I can do this. I deserve to be president of the United States.
Okay, we have a couple rich guys running. One is Romney.
Right.
The other one, I made a list here. The Clintons are almost up there now. Giuliani's almost up there. Edwards. But the only really rich guy is Romney. He's like a Steve Forbes. Is this going to hurt him? That's your question now, Michael.
I don't think so. I really do.
Not too well off?
No, I really don't think so. I mean, I don't, he looks to me as if he is comfortable in his skin. He looks to me like he's a person who is... worked hard, has been rewarded through his hard work and initiative. He made the money. He made it.
But that's so rare. I said, isn't it odd in a country where we love to say you can make it here, that a guy who did make it on his own doesn't have a bigger advantage?
Well, listen, we will find out.
Mike Blumenthal may prove this for us, too. It's somewhere down the line.
Right. And I think if he does run...
Not Mike Blumenthal. Mike Bloomberg.
Yeah.
Mike Blumenthal was the former Secretary of Treasury. Hey, we'll be right back with Michael Powell. I haven't gotten anything out of this conversation. I have no idea. Is it good to be rich in American politics like the Kennedys, Rockefellers, and Roosevelts?
Doesn't make a difference.
I think it helps you with Democrats.
It's always good to be rich.
I think Democrats like old money, and Republicans like new money. We'll be right back with Michael Powell, Michelle Bernard, and stay up on all the news between the scenes here on Hardball. Get your daily email briefing. Just go to our website, hardball.msnbc.com. You're watching it only on MSNBC. About this, Michael Powell, this Gonzales thing. We lost Wolfowitz to the World Bank the other day. Now it looks like there's a drumbeat for a no-confidence vote in the U.S. Senate next week. Is this going to be the end of Gonzales, Alberto Gonzales?
It's hard to say, Chris, because, he has an enormously high threshold for pain. I don't know how the guy gets up in the morning.
Is that his job now, to just take it?
Apparently so. I mean, the testimony that former Assistant Attorney General James Comey gave this week was just something, that revealed a whole new side.
You made him look like Luca Brasi going into the hospital there. Well, Michelle, I know you like that side of things politically, but what do you think of this behavior of two guys going into the hospital and trying to get this sick guy to sign a paper when they knew he was relieved of duty, that his deputy was in charge, and they snuck around the deputy to get to the sick guy?
It was politically unwise.
You think the president gave the order?
I don't know.
Who do you think gave it?
I don't think it really matters.
It does. Let me tell you, some things do matter. We want to know, you say, go to the hospital bed, ignore Comey, and get the signature. Like either your signature or your brains are going to be on that paper, the Godfather.
Well, you know what? Regardless, though, of who gave the orders, they shouldn't have done it. And the American public is never, ever going to be able to get it out of their imagination that this guy is laying in ICU.
So Gonzales is a dead man.
Gonzales is gone.
He's gone. Why does the president hold on to him so long to make it so painful? Why doesn't he just say, Alberto, we're close friends, I'll find another position for you, but you can't be my attorney general under this heat?
Well, we don't know that the president's saying that. For all we know, Gonzales is saying, I need this job. Let me hang in there and let me resign on my own terms, or let me see if I can fix it. Wolfowitz stayed in this as long as he could. He didn't know until he had to. Let me ask you a longer question, which is really awful to ask you on a Friday afternoon. Does anybody ever benefit from a relationship with this president? That's a very good question.
I'm going through the list. Nobody will have lunch with him over at the Georgetown faculty. Wolfowitz is out now, humiliated. Not a bad guy, but humiliated. Scooter's awaiting sentencing. All the Hawks seem to have gotten into big trouble. Cheney's still there, but I wonder whether Cheney is more Bush's guy or he's Cheney's guy. I can't tell sometimes.
Yeah, well, but they fall on their own swords. I mean, somebody gives an order, someone asks you to do something. Everybody has a fundamental sense of right and wrong, and there comes a time when you say no.
Let's go with some people who didn't fall on their own swords. Gonzales.
Gonzales was in the hospital room.
O'Neill, the first Secretary of the Treasury that Bush publicly fired. Larry, what's his name? The first Chancellor of Economic Advisement Chairman, he publicly fired. Larry Lindsey publicly fired him. There's a lot of bodies out there.
Well, you know what? It happens in every administration.
Really? Like this?
Well, in every administration, people. Well, he didn't have to fire. Look what happened to Lonnie Guinier under Clinton. He let her go. They were supposedly loyal friends.
I like your memory.
Yeah, well, of course.
Remember he said, one of the great moments, he's about to put her up for, he puts her up for chief of the Civil Rights Division at Justice, an intellectual at Penn, a law professor, and it comes out that she believes in this kind of rotating majorities in cities, there's towns where there's a black minority and a white majority, and so why don't we have a rotating leadership so that everybody gets a share of power, which is kind of a revolutionary idea. It's not exactly democratic. And Bill Clinton is confronted with that document she wrote. He said, I never read her stuff before. Like, he puts her for chief of the Civil Rights Division. Then he says, I never read her stuff. Now I'm going to dump her.
Exactly. And they were supposedly lifelong friends, hanging out on Martha's Vineyard together. Sayonara. No.
You got a great memory. Well, what do you think? You think this administration is not coming apart at the seams right now?
It is coming apart at the seams. It is. And hopefully they can pull it together.
Who's next to go?
I don't know. Time will tell.
Do you think Condi's doing a good job?
I do. I'm a big supporter of Condi Rice.
What's she doing?
She's trying to make waves. She's trying to deal with rights in the Middle East.
A little late on the Middle East.
Excuse me?
A little late on the Middle East, like 7 years to try to put together a deal over there.
Well, arguably, the United States has been really late on the Middle East for the last 20 years. I mean, it doesn't matter who the president is. What the engagement that we needed to have in the Arab Middle East, it just hasn't happened.